sleep. I'd rather open presents with you. Wake up early, I just wanna open presents with you, baby. Can't slay. Wrong, but I feel like a big kid again. Got everything that I wanted on my Christmas. Got the new toy that
Chance the
fit
Rapper,
under the
who?
Christmas tree.
Jeremiah.
That's it?
Yeah, Jeremiah. Yeah.
Tight.
I don't know. Maybe they have a different, like somebody producing. The whole album.
That's right. I forgot they cut an album together.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to it
It's
yet.
hard to find. I don't want to buy it. I'm gonna buy it. I was hoping Spotify would take care of this problem.
Right?
Yeah.
They don't do that all the time. Is he on Tidal?
What's that?
Is he on Tidal?
Probably.
You know, some people are,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Yeah. He's up there. He doesn't need all that
Yeah,
stuff.
he's super independent. He's
Yeah.
getting paid.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah.
Meet the president.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's out, yeah.
He knew the president knew him when he was nobody, you know?
Yeah.
Facts. It's crazy.
Just dope. Welcome to the show, everybody.
Welcome.
Yeah, this is product of the 80s. I'm your host, Dique Scott.
And I'm your co-host, Mikey Make Everything.
Sitting in with us today is a very, very special guest. The one,
Yeah.
the only,
The one and only.
Chris Dublife. Right. Woo! Clap it up.
Bang, 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 bang. Gang.
It's a pleasure being here.
Gang.
Yeah,
Been a long time coming.
Yeah, man. It has been. Thanks for showing up.
That's my boy for like my whole Portland existence.
10 years.
10 years. Well, 11.
11, yeah.
Yeah. Forever.
Yeah. Why don't you tell the people about yourself?
I am a DJ. I am a daddy. I am yo daddy. I'm an art curator. I'm a remixer, producer of sorts. I go to Sun Ra viewings and laugh at white people laughing at the wrong parts of Sun Ra movies.
Yeah, there you go.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm just a regular dude.
Yeah, the average guy. Yeah, the average dude.
Just the average bear.
Just your average bear.
Word, man. This is gonna be good. I'm glad you're with us today.
Me too.
All right, yeah.
Picnic basket.
Ew. This is gonna be the blackest show ever.
Ever.
All right.
Of all times.
Let's not even waste any time. We want to talk about some news.
Let's get into it.
All right, let's do it. Let's get the headlines. News for you around the world. Coming from the show, we're men from the 80s. Talk about things in the now. Let's not waste time. Let's get into the realness right now. So, as we talked about last week, Emantic Bradford Jr., also known as E.J. Bradford,
my goodness,
who was shot by police in a
In
mall
the
in
back.
Alabama.
In the back.
So let me get to it, man.
Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Spoiler alert.
Sorry.
Man, no, chill out, man.
He died.
The whole dramatic
Spoiler alert.
effect is just over.
Sorry.
Jeez. All right.
Hurt.
So this young man, it's just been discovered that when he was shot, he was actually shot in the back, shot 3 times. One of these bullets actually went to the back of his head. So the reason this is controversial is because the story of the police has changed many times over, and none of those versions of the story match up to him actually being shot.
I'm
in the
shocked.
manner that he was shot in. So there you have it. So obviously there's a big cover up happening with this. And
I'm
it's
so
nothing
happy
new, right?
his dad is in the news and is basically telling everybody the business. He's like,
Yeah.
cops are not trained this way.
Nope.
Hoover police aren't trained this way. None of
Yeah.
the people
Nope.
that are around here are supposed to be trained this way.
Yeah.
And for them to murder his son like that is not right.
Yeah.
And he's just demanding justice, and I feel his pain.
Yeah, and then they arrested somebody who they said actually did the shooting. But the thing is about this is that I mean, it's like at this point, where's the credibility and trust with any of this now?
Right?
Are
Yeah.
you doing
they
this
already
just to cover
switched
it up,
up-
just
they
to
already-
make up for
Yeah,
it?
they already switched up the story so many times now. It's like,
Yeah.
okay.
Are you grabbing this guy
we
just
can't
because
believe
you
Like,
just need somebody to throw it to the public so you say you're doing your job? Because that's happened before, and
Yep.
it's even been wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's nothing new with that. It's pretty much the police department's lost all credibility, which is nothing new with that. But I mean, I guess one way to look at this is, like, is there any way possible that this can be resolved that'll make you feel satisfied and that there's still justice?
No.
Like,
nah.
Even if it comes to justice, and
Nah.
none of this was
No.
actual
Nah.
justice.
Because he lost his life basically trying to assist people out of there, and they lied on that man's reputation and his life, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then even after they took his life. So this
Yeah.
is like a double whammy, and it's just like, that's just It's like, wow, at least own up to your faults in the end. You know what I'm saying?
It's too deep. 'Cause now it goes to the top. Now the top lies. Now, you know what I mean? So it goes more than that officer who probably lied his report. He probably didn't even lie in his report. They probably just trying to cover up his report.
Probably.
They
You know
knew.
what I'm
They
saying?
knew.
They're probably like, oh, you can't put that.
Anytime
We
you
ain't putting
pull
that
up
out.
on that,
I'm not putting that out.
No,
You
this
put
is
up
like
on
it's all
that
up
scene,
there. We
you're
gotta
like,
say
oh.
this and this. We're gonna spin it like this and say this. And like, oops, I guess that was stupid too.
Whoops.
Busted.
Whoops.
Yeah. Keep an eye out, y'all. This is, don't believe the hype when it comes to that. Please lie. I'm not saying they all lie. They lie often when they do something bad.
Yep.
All right, moving forward. North Carolina. Republicans are trying to ensure that they'll be in charge of future elections by manipulating the system, as per usual. So, what's happening is State Representative David Lewis, who chairs the committee, filed a bill in North Carolina for the House of Representatives on Monday amid allegations of Republican-led ballot theft during the 2018 midterm elections.
Wow.
So this bill will require election boards in every county state to be chaired by a member of a political party with the highest number of registered votes in odd-numbered years. During even-numbered years, the boards would be chaired by a member of the party with the second highest number of registered voters. Now, the catch with this is obviously the districts are mixed up, so whereas Republicans have a huge advantage because they're dwindling in numbers in North Carolina. They know they're losing the vote. They don't have a choice. So literally trying to rewrite the rules so they could be in charge of elections so they could really get away with voter suppression.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
just right in our face, right?
Just
Don't
blatant.
even try to hide it. Like,
Wow.
We don't care anymore.
I mean, what's that saying? If you can't beat the law, be the law.
Ooh.
Like
Wow.
if you want to be a crook, what's the best?
Yeah.
What's the best crook in the world?
But they're not-
Going to politics.
But they've always been the law.
Yeah.
It doesn't change. And it's
They
even,
came
even
here
when
and was
Democratic
like, this
rulers
is the
been
law.
around, they got away with a lot of
That's
these
the
things.
message, man.
Yeah.
It's like, yo,
Yeah.
we gotta get it. We gotta get them out, man.
Just
And
show you who's boss. Let you know who's
That's the
really
weirdest
in
thing.
charge
look what
here.
they did in France.
Yeah.
Ooh,
They
that's the
did,
weird-
yo, France.
Hey.
They didn't even. In France was like they went. I mean, it was a riot. It wasn't even controlled. It wasn't even organized.
Yeah.
And the government was like, all right, our bad. All right, we messed up. Let's get our stuff together. And I'm like, yo.
That's just the weirdest thing about that thing. Like when they got here, they were like, "Do you want to be king or do you? No, let's make a a democracy."
Yeah.
And everybody's like, but you really got this skull and bones thing in place, though, right? Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
but
of
yeah,
course.
but it's gonna say
Yeah.
that it's a democracy.
Yeah.
I mean, we're free.
Yeah.
But don't worry about the.
Don't worry about
We're
everything
free.
else.
Don't worry about everybody else.
It's a sign of losing control. It's a
We'll
sign
sort it out.
Ride with us.
Yeah.
We got this. We got
Sort
this.
They know they're dwindling in numbers in a sense. I mean, a lot of white Americans scared. They're like, yo, like with the population changing us, we still don't want to lose power. I think white Americans are best we can.
I mean, you're gonna. This is what blows me away. It's like to have this form of dissonance like in your mind to where you think that your livelihood is gonna come to a stop.
Yes.
Like I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We've had people hate on me a lot about saying this about this opinion, but like I don't get amped up when there's a first black something anymore.
Yeah.
No.
Exactly.
Because that shouldn't be a thing anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
That really shouldn't. Like all right. Once we had Obama, I was like, all right,
that
can
was
we?
the last
that's
thing.
it.
Yeah.
That was
That's
the last
it.
one.
I'm
Yeah,
not
me
getting
too.
happy about a first black. Oh,
Yeah.
we got the first black bus driver. I don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
I don't really.
First
we
black-
still
Yeah.
just now.
Yeah.
We just got
Yeah.
like nah, man. We should
He's
be
the first
past
black
this.
bus
Like,
driver in northern Saskatchewan
Like,
County
yeah,
at a time of
ever.
500.
I'm like,
It's
what's the
yo.
worst? Like, you go
No.
to
Oh,
a
really?
random white person, be like, yo, what's the worst thing that could happen to you right now?
Yeah.
And see what their answer is.
Yeah.
And then you ask me walking
Yeah.
down the street, yo, what's the worst thing that could happen to you right
Well,
now?
the jobs are being
like,
taken. You're
without
usually-
my control. You
Yeah.
feel me? Like, come
Yeah.
on, man. Like,
Yeah.
I always tell my white friends, hey, don't worry about
He
it,
needs some milk.
man.
That'll
I'm
be
like,
fine, man.
like, they'll be fine. Y'all
Yeah.
gonna
They'll
be
be
fine.
fine.
Y'all got your pensions and 401ks and stuff. Don't trip.
Fine.
You ain't coming to
Trust funds.
Yeah.
You're fine.
You still got all the Oscars, man.
You gonna get in the
oh, wait, apparently
club?
not.
Don't
We'll get that
trip.
later.
You gonna get in the club? We got you.
Yeah.
Don't
It's
worry
okay.
about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Moving forward. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Oh my gosh, she's the best.
Calling
Bang.
on law. I love her.
Bang.
She,
Yeah.
She's really tight.
Yeah.
Bang.
Stepping it up for the little people.
Shooting my shot.
It's calling on lawmakers. I'm hoping this has a triple down effect. She's married though.
Oh,
Yeah.
Shot.
Yeah.
Wah,
Shot in the
wah.
heart,
Hey.
'cause you're too late.
Hey,
I'll
you
still
give
vote for her.
love
It's all right.
a bad
Hey,
name.
can you just
I
put-
finally realized what that means. Anyway.
hey, can you play the dog from? Hey, can you play the dog from Duck Hunt? Can you play that song? Ooh, that's what we got for you.
Yeah. So Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is calling on lawmakers to boost staffers' salaries and pay interns.
How
dare-
Every
how
10 interns like, yo, this is how it starts.
Yeah.
How dare she? And everyone's getting on her about it. It's like, where's the money going to come from? I don't know. The money that's gifted to them, the to pay interns that they already get.
Yeah.
You know how much they get?
Yeah.
How much do they get? Let me double check on this again. So I'll make
How much
sure
do
I'm
they?
not
How
wrong.
much do they allotted?
Their staff, all right, total budget allowance for each member staff in 2017 was $944,671.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Now, lawmakers are paid $174,000 a year, so that's how much money they have for staffing doing that. Like, keep in mind, like, I'm more than positive that most of these people harbor most of that money for themselves.
Of course.
Yeah, of
and
course.
not pay their interns. Like,
Of course.
when their interns do a lot, you know, they do a lot. They put together a lot of the bills and stuff on this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the catch. This is how it. Now, this is where it becomes really serious. Is that if you want people to be happy, especially an intern, trust me, I know that you want to get paid, you want some recognition for
Yeah.
it.
Right.
So what happens is with these other things, to be an intern, you kind of have to be taken care of, or well off, to afford not getting
To
paid.
afford to
Yeah.
not get paid.
To do that, and typically people who are probably rich come from more wealth or don't
Right.
properly represent the American demographic. You know,
The common
they're
man.
churches, yeah.
The common man.
yeah,
the
common man doesn't get represented in all this.
No.
So, like, by doing this, you give more of an incentive for people who are willing to work for government and be involved to actually do it and have a means to survive while doing it, especially in a place like Washington, D.C., which has the highest rent. So how do you expect most
Yeah.
normal people to go there? It's, you know, it's already expensive as it is. And then to do that for free, not get paid, and then feel motivated to do that.
No. And then they're supposed to be helping the American people.
Yeah,
And they're
exactly.
one of the American people.
This is
So
your country.
they need to
This is-
survive
this
too.
is-
So
And
payment.
So everyone's trying to get
no
on
one
her
should
about
work
this,
for
yeah.
free. That's
I don't
what's
even
called
see
slaves.
why they. Yeah, that's
Nobody gets slaves
Yeah.
because
This
they're
is- this is
empowered.
what
This
you-
is
this is
all
what
your
tripped me
hard
out.
work. Oh, they're trying to work.
No,
all
no,
the pays.
I'm in power.
Stuart,
I get
trying to
slaves.
pay these
No,
hard-working people.
I'm like, how?
No.
I'm
she
like,
can't win.
Yeah.
Like, that's
No.
like she cannot win with these people, man.
like the news.
This
I'm
is
like, how is?
crazy.
I'm like, how is the
No matter what
the
she do.
clickbait was? She's paying her interns.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, why is that the headline? The headline should be all these people mad at her because she's paying her interns.
Exactly.
Why are y'all
Yeah.
mad about
Yeah.
her paying?
Old
I'm
man
like,
yells at cloud.
Yeah.
yeah. Like,
Yeah.
why y'all?
Super
Why is this the headline? This shouldn't be the headline. Like,
Yeah.
Shaking fist.
the headline
It's
should have
funny,
been "You
yeah.
mad."
But
That's
it's
all it
funny-
should have
but it's
said.
funny
You
how-
mad.
yeah,
That's
but
what it
it's
should
funny
have
how
said.
they're flipping it because they're trying to make it seem like, oh, well, where's she gonna get? They're trying to say that she's done with economics. They're like, well, where's the money coming from? The government has a ton of money. They're
Yeah.
irresponsible to
I'm
spending.
like, hey, you got a
Look,
job?
we don't have money for
You
that.
see that tax right there?
We kind of didn't have money to send all those troops to the border, spend $200 million, something like that, and we didn't even get anything from it.
Yep.
I'm still waiting to hear back by. I'm still want to hear a report on all that.
Yeah.
What's the aftermath?
I didn't
Have you
sign
fixed
off on
anything?
that. I didn't
What's
sign
going
off
on?
on that.
Because ain't nobody talking about it.
I didn't vote
There's
for
a lot
that.
of money.
I didn't vote for that. I didn't.
Just saying.
Nobody. He didn't send me an email. He didn't tweet me.
It is less than
Nothing.
$1 million we're talking about, and people freaking out about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy to me.
How dare you pay your interns?
Man.
Hey, you know that's
wrong.
what the American people should do. If you voted somebody in, you should pay the taxes that they pick up.
Yeah.
Yo,
Yo. Hey, America's
We're having
like,
so much Fetty Homes.
Man.
We can't quit now.
keep it moving, dog. We need that dough.
right?
Yeah,
I
man.
need my check, man.
Oh, that's so frustrating. Yeah. Probably, yo, shout out to. I'm gonna follow her as much as I can. There's something with her every week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sure. I
They're
should
gonna
just make-
keep her
Good
in the news.
news.
Yeah,
Good
I,
news.
I might just make a segment just for her, just because
They're gonna call it hating on her.
Hating on her.
Hating on her.
Yeah.
Hating
The
on
hating
her.
Why
on
you
her.
hating on her?
Why you hating on her? Yo, I like that.
Y'all
He hating on
always
her.
hating on
Hashtag
her.
hating on her. Let's run
Let
that.
her
Let's run
live.
that. Hashtag hating on her.
Well,
Let's run
yeah,
that.
man. All right, let's try to move forward a little bit. James Fields, who is a man who was arrested for running over Heather Heyer in Charlottesville during the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, and pretty much just sealed the deal on his case by way of a recorded phone call that he had in prison while talking to his mother. And in the said phone call, when his mother wanted him to show some remorse for the victim, he pretty much said it doesn't effing matter. So pretty much, long story short, he goes, her mother goes, well, she lost. He's responding like, well, she was one of those anti-white communists. And then his mother goes, well, she talking about Heather Heyer's mother, like, well, she lost her daughter. And then Phil's responded with, it doesn't effing matter. She's a communist. And then his mother goes, stop talking like that. And then he replies, it isn't up for questioning. She's the enemy, mother.
Wow.
And then this audio was played in court. So apparently the prosecutor just rolled straight up
It was
and just
like
just kind of listen out.
mic drop.
Goes,
Mic drop.
Just play the audio. Just,
There it is.
And at the end of it, he just goes, "I rest my case."
There it is.
That's all you got to play.
There
Because the
it
whole
is.
thing is he was wanted to show if he showed remorse for what he did. That was an
Right.
accident.
No.
Because his thing was like, well, I was in fear of my life. And he knows,
Yeah.
obviously, this
Inside
shows
of-
he said
inside
it
of
was
his
premeditated. Yeah, and he wanted to do it. So
Yeah.
It's like
he's
signing
the
your own
enemy.
death certificate, man.
Yeah, and that's scary with the rhetoric though too.
Yeah.
Like that talk, like she's like there was like we're at war. He's the enemy. He's communist. We gotta kill him.
Some
Doesn't
people
matter.
think like that, man.
Man,
Some
no,
people
it's-
really. I mean,
Yeah.
this is the way I see it. If you're in the mind frame to where you just want to go out and kill random people, yeah, you think you something's off. Something up here clicked, man. And
Yeah.
you if
No, I just don't get it. Like, maybe 2 days before that, prior to that, he's probably just, watching the game,
watching the game.
drinking a beer. How do you go from that to like murdering somebody? That's just not like a common day-to-day
No.
thought.
Because
I'm
he
sure.
was-
I mean, I'm
because he was
sure.
mar-
I mean, I'm
Well,
sure
they were
it was.
hyped up, man. He was
yeah.
he was marching with those
He was
people all
marching with
day.
the
He was mad
dudes.
hyped.
He was
I'm
all
sure he was super
pumped.
hyped.
Yeah.
I understand, like
Yeah.
that,
He was running with
that
these
doesn't
guys.
get
Yeah.
that just in my
Mob
brain. It doesn't
mentality.
Yeah.
it doesn't compute to be that.
I mean,
way
it
towards
doesn't happen
something.
Because we're
overnight.
normal
It doesn't
people.
happen overnight. I mean, it's just like if somebody came up to me right now, hey, you want to be a blood? I'd be like, no.
Yeah.
But if you came to me when I was like a little kid and I saw it every day and that's what I was raised
Yeah,
on,
but like
and
when
taught
you
and
when you
grew up
become an
into it-
adult, you got your own thoughts. You know what I'm saying?
right? No, I'm not telling him. I'm not saying he shouldn't take responsibility for what he did. I'm just trying to make sense out of it.
Yeah.
Is all I'm trying.
Which is
to do.
hard to make sense out of
I'm,
something like this. but,
I'm not
like,
saying
yeah.
it wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
It was totally wrong. I'm just trying to make sense out of it so we can figure out how to stop this kind of stuff for
Yeah.
it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If there was a red flag, and I'll be honest, and his mom probably thought she probably did see something. Probably saw him drawing swastikas or something in his notebook, and she's like, "Ah, kids,
Yeah.
whatever."
Like,
He's,
oh, whatever. He's
he's a
always doing that
teenager,
stuff.
angry teenager.
Yeah, he's just doing his
whatever,
angry
like,
thing. He's got this.
You know, like nah, you can't let that stuff slide.
he's
man.
just confused.
Y'all, I hate that argument.
All
Get
right.
out of here.
Moving forward. Speaking of confusion, we live in the state of Oregon. We talk about things that happen here. We have a segment called Organized Confusion.
Organized
Organized confusion.
PDX. Bang.
Sometimes watch.
Sometimes.
That's some good. That's some good.
Hey,
Right?
that's
Sprinkle occasionally.
that's like
Spring on
I feel like.
that's like vowels and sometimes why. Mike, put it.
Yeah. Well, we do stream online everywhere, including South, and we're on the air in Southwest Washington.
Tech.
It's sister station at Go X-Ray. All right. Moving forward. So, in a very comic booky type situation and move, City Council unanimously passes ordinance to reduce single-use plastics in Portland. This is I'm glad this finally happened. But
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people were pissed off about it.
We said
I'm surprised how many people are pissed off by
we
this.
said this was gonna pass.
Yeah.
Remember when we talked about this before? We knew
Yeah.
this was gonna pass,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's not.
I mean,
It needs to happen.
I'll be honest. I saw a video, I think probably earlier this year, on the internet. It's a turtle in the ocean. With
Yeah.
a straw in its nose.
Yeah.
That messed me up.
I was like,
man.
you gotta see turtle. It's like,
I
well,
was like,
yeah.
I felt the straw in my nose. I was like,
Mhm.
yo, that turtle, I'd want to die.
Yeah.
I was
That's messed up.
I was like, all right, we messing up.
So to bring some clarification to the specifics, proposal forbids local restaurants, bars, and coffee shops from giving out plastic straws or other single-use utensils unless they are asked for. The rules take effect July 1st, 2019, and I guess one of the biggest arguments with this or that against this is that this is stupid and it's a waste of the city's time. They should be fixing other things, and that this won't make a difference. Now, it does make a little bit of difference. Now, it may not be a huge difference. The fact that it makes a little bit of a difference, I think, should just be.
It makes it worth it.
Well, yeah, exactly. But people hate that. It was like, well, you got to cut out this, cut out that, cut out that. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Write up a bill, write up a proposal, and then what people will probably get on it. If that's
Yeah.
what your thing is. But somebody put this together, got it through because they knew it was possible to do and it wouldn't take a lot. And that's what happened. But I think it's weird how everyone's like, well, you got to cut out this stuff too. I'm like, cool, get off your seat and go make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if nothing, shut up, be happy that we made a step forward in some shape, form, or fashion.
Yeah.
Can you just be happy we made a step forward?
That-
Hey, I know Ted really can suck sometimes. Fine, but like,
Yeah.
this is what you're complaining about.
You can keep a key. You can
This is
keep
your
a
this is
straw
your
on your
gripe about
keychain.
that?
This will get you mad.
This is your
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, you kind of suck. There's other things to be mad about. There's other things to be
Yeah.
mad about around here other than that.
Yeah, it's like
All right.
you're worried about plastic
That's
straws,
stupid.
and there's people getting murdered all over the place.
Yo,
Yeah.
facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
People getting tear gas for no reason,
Facts.
but you worried about
Yeah.
straws.
There's no
Facts.
In and Out in
There's,
Portland.
there's bigger fish to fry.
Yo.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
We got issues here.
There's a
This
lot
is
of
nothing.
issues. There's nothing.
I don't need a straw to drink something either.
Man,
It helps though.
At least
but,
you're not
like,
Flint, Michigan.
Yeah, for handicapped people and stuff, they need that.
That part.
Food carts are gonna suffer a bit. I kind of thought about that for a second, but they can figure something out, right?
We'll figure
it out.
Use one thing, something recyclable or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think also a part of this, maybe you could probably give like maybe you can give a little tax cut to businesses that purchase,
Yeah.
but purchase like products that are like
Biodegradable.
biodegradable and everything. So you get a little cut.
Biodegradable.
Keep it moving. You know
Keep
what I'm saying?
that
I like
Give me
that.
a-
the
it's called an
recycling
incentive.
arrows moving.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Some people are gonna lose money off it. That's not worth it too. So we gotta fix all these problems.
Right.
Chain reaction. All right. Ooh, speaking of chain reactions, small earthquake has been detected off the southern Oregon coast.
What?
We're itching for it. So they had that one in Alaska, so that started freaking people out.
Oh.
This happened Tuesday morning. It was a 3.2. It's right by
Man.
Coos Bay.
But you keep hearing about those big
Yeah.
those big ones. They
Yeah.
keep going up all over the
We
place.
got the fault right in the middle of
all
the city,
around
man.
us.
And I know
everybody's
a lot
like,
of places
oh,
ain't earthquake proof.
No.
You know.
It's still
No.
way behind.
Pretty
Way,
much all
way
of our,
behind.
somebody told me pretty much like almost all of Chinatown is not earthquake.
No, that's why you
like
see-
it's gonna be rubble. If we
Yeah.
get a
No.
big one, it's Chinatown's gonna turn into rubble.
That's why you see those U's everywhere.
Yeah.
Those buildings ain't safe.
No.
None of them buildings.
No.
You see those U's all around that
No.
area, and none of them buildings are safe.
No.
Dude.
When an earthquake happens, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah. I was here back in, I think it was 92 or 3 when we had that earthquake here. That was right when I moved here.
Wow.
Yes, I think it was like 93.
Yeah, I didn't move here
Or
in
something like that.
2007.
Yeah, and so like I remember it was like a couple days after I got here. And I remember thinking to myself, I was like, man, it sucks I'm away from California, but at least I don't have to think about earthquakes anymore. Bam.
Wow.
And I was getting ready for work.
Universe was like, nah.
Yeah, I remember I stood,
Universe like, hold my beer.
Universe like, nah.
Gotcha.
Oh, this is your couch?
Yeah.
Oh,
This is your
so this is where you live now, huh? this is where you live now? Okay. All right. Let me pull up the earthquake machine right quick.
Oh man,
That's messed up, man.
that's so funny.
Yeah, we'll be all right though. But I don't. It makes me wonder, like, if people were like, we have to start considering this now, right?
Mhm.
Like, I really hope we start taking steps. Don't even get me started on the bridges,
Oh my god,
man. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot at stake nowadays because
I
we're
mean-
doing a lot.
I mean,
And it's like,
let's
I
be
hope this is included in like us taking steps, like, because I feel the city doesn't know what to do.
clear.
Like, people don't know here.
I mean,
They're
but
still,
let's
like,
be
oblivious,
clear
you know?
though. Like, America in general, like, it ain't just us. Like, you been to Pittsburgh, man? You been to Detroit?
Yeah.
It's a lot of major cities
that are trash.
that if they get a strong
Chicago.
enough earthquake,
Yeah.
trash.
all them bridges coming down,
Yeah.
all of them,
Yeah.
all of like I've lived in multiple. I think when I lived in San Diego when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
That was one of the few cities I lived in where they're so used to it, they got kind of, and this was in the 90s, so it kind of had a little head start. Like, all right, maybe we should start earthquake proofing some things, and plus there's not a lot of bridges except the Coronado Bridge. But I remember one of the first things somebody told me was, oh, this is one of the few bridges in America that can float, and it's built so that if there's an earthquake, it breaks apart it breaks off into sections.
Yeah.
Even if it's a little earthquake, it's
Yeah.
like if it hits a certain point on the Richter scale,
Yeah.
it breaks off into sections and it floats. And I was like,
That's tight.
I was like, okay,
Science.
right?
Yeah.
Shout out to engineers, yo.
Yeah. Seriously.
Like,
Yeah.
and that was back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, okay.
Wow.
So I mean, we can do it. It's just
Yeah.
a matter of money.
Yeah.
You know?
Man, have you seen what Boston Dynamics is up to again?
Yo.
Woo, Lord. We'll talk about that another
Black
day.
Mirror. Black
Yeah.
Mirror. That's
I'm
another
like, this
episode.
thing is running through a field doing parkour.
The dog
I'm
jumping
done.
up.
Yeah.
Cops are gonna be robots
Jumping
in the
up
future, bro.
70 meters.
They ain't even gonna be people no more. It's just gonna be robots.
They were trying.
Yeah,
They
they
trying
lift
to
a
take
lot.
my construction job,
Yeah.
but they need to leave my
They
construction
got
job
you.
alone.
They got you.
I like
Robots
that.
is out there.
I like doing that
All right,
stuff.
speaking of taking jobs, the Portland office of the FBI very much wants City Council
They
to
took
stay in the
your
Joint
keys.
Terrorism Task Force.
They took her
Tell you, man, it's a comic book world nowadays. Hey, when have you ever seen a story when it's like things been so hectic? It's like, no, let's just get this government entity that's heavily armed and it's into everyone's business just to come in and check things out.
I feel like they trying to be the Avengers. Nah.
No, this is a bad idea.
That seems sketchy.
Yeah, so City Commissioner elect Joanne Hardesty hasn't taken office yet, but this is obviously something that she's working on and they expect this to take place as soon as she gets in. So long story short, she thinks that the Joint Task Force isn't necessary here because they think they abuse power. They don't necessarily look for terrorists. They mainly just mess with immigration and do other things.
I was
They
gonna
do
say,
look for terrorists, but most of the budget and what they're doing isn't going towards that. That's not what's
Yeah, not
happening.
now. Yeah,
Yeah.
It ain't going towards fighting terrorism.
They gotta
now,
justify that
clearly.
budget, and somebody's getting paid, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, no, we can solve it. Like, no, we do. You don't want to be out of a job, which I get, but if your job isn't necessary and hurt people, yeah, you gotta dip.
Yeah.
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 It's
You
like,
gotta give that job up.
Yeah. Especially federal job. We don't need you.
And quitting using my tax money for it.
Exactly.
Right?
Quit harassing people.
Didn't
for
sign
it.
Come,
off on
come
this.
fix these
Yeah.
bridges, fam.
Have
Fix
you
these
run
bridges.
out there? Like, it's like you
Like-
see those videos. It's like like immigrant or supposed immigrants just they'll just be somewhere like shopping with their family.
Yeah,
and
they
they
just
just get
pull up.
snatched up in the
Just
parking
pull
lot.
up.
All their kids around there, they just snatch up and just
My
like, yo,
God.
what is this?
Yes.
Just kidnap them in front of the kids.
And
Yeah.
and
We
it's
don't have to tell you anything.
and their job is funded through the programs
Yeah.
that the illegals pay.
Yeah, they paying taxes.
Yeah.
It's like your tax money.
Your tax money goes directly to being abducted.
Yeah.
How does that?
Yeah.
How does that
Yeah.
work?
Yeah.
How does the government sign off on stuff like this? This is
They're
ridiculous.
like, hold up, we'll show you.
You know, right?
Basically.
Yeah.
Man.
Like, let me answer Mikey's question real quick.
No,
Well, let me bring up Article 13
Yeah.
of this proposal we launched in Washington D.C.
They've had, man. They just like to kind of do dirt and get away with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't like it.
So when are you running for president, Dique?
Ah, man. Never.
Never.
Nah, I'm not meant for that. I'll stay in my lane.
It
I'll
seems
do what I can
stressful.
with what I got.
Hey, this is our
You know what I mean?
soapbox. We're using our soapbox,
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, why won't Angela Rye run for president?
right?
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Yeah, you talk to her first. She's got
Yeah.
more than me. She got more
He said
clout.
she got more
I'm on my way, though.
Man,
Man, speaking of
people
girls who
don't
are
even-
married. Anyways.
She's married.
Anywho,
Common. He's like a
I'm gonna start saying that to everybody.
Yeah,
Anytime
yeah.
somebody say they like somebody, I'm
Well,
like,
she married.
she married.
She married.
He married.
I
Gay,
like
straight.
that.
I don't care.
He
I'm
married.
ruining your. I'm raining your parade.
I like that.
He's married. She's married.
Married.
They're married.
Hashtag player hate.
No, hey,
Sorry, they're married.
Close your eyes when you say it
Crush
too.
that.
They're married.
Yeah.
They're married.
Yeah. We'll call it the dream crusher.
She's married. Just destroying dreams.
So, I like that, man. You know why? There we go.
I want to do it because it's fun. I want to do bad things.
Like smoking with cigarettes.
Smoking with
I
cigarettes.
got that didn't go through. Man, my lines all mixed up. All right, let's try to wrap this up a little bit. Woo, you're gonna like this one. Portland bandits set ablaze inside a Ross store to boost merchandise. That's the hustle. So Portland authorities on the hunt for a pair of women suspected for starting fires inside a Cascade Station department store and then bolting with stolen loot. So he went up to Cascade Station,
No,
went up to
they
Ross
didn't.
at Cascade
Okay.
Station.
No, they did.
I have a-
like
I have a
9:50
question.
At night, 9:50.
I have a
right towards the end of the
question.
night.
Hold on, let me finish,
Yeah.
let me finish,
And so they do all this. They roll up in there, wearing a camouflage jacket. They had like on like the straight line. They had like a dead president's outfit. I was just like,
Oh my
you know what I mean?
God! Is it
They
set
look-
it off?
They look like they're like extras in an MOP video.
Oh my God!
So they come up in there and apparently they set fires and then like went and then just like racked a bunch of stuff and then dipped out.
Wow.
While setting fire for a distraction.
Why Ross?
Exactly.
Why Ross?
Exactly
Dress-
what I said.
Is there
Dress
something
for
in there?
less?
Because here's the thing.
Especially
Is there
at
something in
Cascade
there I
Station.
don't know about
Yeah.
that's worth a whole bunch of money or something?
Their
Like,
furniture is expensive, but it's obviously it's over. It's not even
That's
worth
hard
the
to
price.
run with.
Which always worried me.
Yeah.
I was like, why is a chair here $300? But
That's like
anyways,
when people rob Walmart. I'm like, Walmart?
Yeah.
yeah,
You
Walmart.
said fire to Ross. Yeah.
Yep.
What you get?
Still in Ross and Walmart. Y'all hit these places up.
Hit Best
Really?
Buy. So there's a lot of
Yeah.
options out there.
Hit,
Like-
hit a Best
And that's what
Buy.
you chose.
Like you choose the
Ross?
Yeah.
You stole it. Why would you steal from a store you actually probably shop at?
Yeah.
That don't make any
Yeah.
sense to me.
Yeah. But it's
Like-
like it's practically a
They
steal
know you.
anyway.
They know
They
Yeah.
know
They
you
know
in there.
you.
Yeah.
You Karen.
Probably
Stop
work
stealing from
there.
here.
It probably works
Karen.
there. It's probably one of them probably works
Everything
there.
you took is gonna be on clearance for $5 next week. Anyways, you don't
Yep.
know why you wasted your time.
Yep.
You can spend more lawyer fees.
Yep.
You got busted. They obviously have cameras.
You're gonna be in
Dumb.
court. What's the only thing more
Honestly-
embarrassing to me in court for stealing is when you got to tell a judge I stole from Ross.
Yeah.
Like, what is the judge going? Really?
Yeah.
You stole from where?
Yes, but I want to do hood rat stuff with my friends.
Can't do anything about
Oh
it.
my
When
God.
the drive is there.
It's like, oh,
Man,
we can set
can't
a
deny
fire.
it.
It would distract
set a
everybody.
fire.
Set fire.
Hey,
He's
through the
like, I don't
smoke,
care
they
if
won't be
y'all
able
look,
to
but I want
see
we
us.
bad up in here.
We'll be able to get at, like,
Yeah.
who drew this up, man?
This is
Who
a
was-
very
Good logo.
extra
It's
No,
mad
I'm
at
saying-
court. Yeah.
Who was
set a fire.
excellent?
Yeah.
So first, this is, first set the fire.
Yeah.
It's a fire, right? We're just gonna start grabbing clothes.
Who's the pyro? Who's the
I
pyro?
appreciate the old schoolness of like, yo, we don't want to go too big and blow up on the radar. Keep it real smooth, low key, small stuff.
Who's the wet
Just
bandits
grab white
over
t-shirts.
here?
Just grab white
Yeah,
tees.
just small stuff.
Underwear.
Things, in and out.
This is the
In and
wet.
out.
This is the wet bandits.
Yeah.
This is this year's wet bandits. It's Christmas time. They're like, okay, we
Yeah.
can. I got a good one,
I got a
guys.
good one.
They probably planning for something bigger. They're like, yo, we
Oh,
need to
my
get
goodness.
something
Was this
bigger.
the practice
Well,
run?
yeah, the
like,
practice
like
run.
this was the practice
Yeah,
joint,
that
and
works.
then next thing gonna hit. at a bank or
bank
something.
next. Yeah, the
Like,
bank next.
That's a big. We talking preschool to Harvard though, man.
Yeah.
They're gonna run in the bank and look stupid. Like, let's set a fire in the bank. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
See how that works out,
You're
guys.
gonna get
yours.
shot.
Yeah.
You're gonna get
I'm-
shot trying
yeah.
to start the fire.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to pay attention to this. I would like to see if they do it again or get caught. I'm gonna see what happens. That's a tough one. Though. These things
Yeah.
usually
Who's
disappear.
this, Joe Pesci?
The bandits. The bandits. Wet bandits.
Totally. All right, y'all. Let's move on to the main topic.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's do it.
The hang-ups we have today, we need to strive for liberty. Lift yourself up on your feet. Let's get it on.
All right.
Lift yourself up on
As you all may have heard,
Let's get it on.
George H.W. Bush Sr., as some will call him,
Rest.
has recently passed away.
R.I.P.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't care if he rests in peace,
Yeah.
but just rest.
Ain't no peace in that. Anyways,
He can rest, though. He can
and
rest.
therein lies the topic. Is it ever too soon to be real about someone's evil deeds after they die? Because one of the biggest topics of discussion here is some of the bad things George H.W. Bush has done. And I'm going to just say right now, yeah, he's done some bad stuff. Let's just get that out of the way. Now, some would say that it's disrespectful to talk ill of the dead.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people still talk about Hitler. Is that a thing? Is there a timeline for this
yeah,
stuff?
Right? Like when?
Like, where's the line? Where do you draw the
Where
line?
you draw the line on this thing?
Yeah, but but long story short, like, what do you do about this? Because
I mean-
I don't see anything positive, especially from the era we grew up in.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
everybody-
And see where it comes to now. And I still feel some of the effects from the stuff I grew up with
We
some
still
of his
do.
policies. Like, that's playing in my mind.
That's what
you
I'm
know?
saying, but I feel like
know
everybody-
about CIA. I know to bring drugs and crack to the community. I know about how you treated the gays.
Yeah, but it's
there's
like-
something, the lack of like attention to AIDS. Like, there's
Every-
Iran Contra. All
everybody had to consider the best and the worst of his legacy
Yeah,
once he died.
yeah,
Right.
So that was a common thought. That had to be a common thought.
yeah.
But a lot of people are choosing to, during this time,
Yeah.
be respectful and be like, oh, you lost your family. I understand.
Yeah.
Whoop de whoop.
Right.
Condolences. Time period. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But in the long scope of things, we're gonna obviously remember the negative. Way,
Yeah.
it's gonna
I mean,
outweigh the
isn't that
positive.
and then that's the basis of how you're raised as a person.
Yeah.
That's how I mean,
Mhm.
at least how I was raised,
Yeah.
and I live my life in a style of, hey, if I live my life in such a way that I did you dirty, you ain't got to show up to my funeral. I don't want you.
Exactly.
And guess what? If you do
Yeah.
me dirty, I'm not gonna come to your funeral.
Yeah.
Right?
I look at death. I have a very my relationship with death is different than how I know a lot of people are.
Yeah.
But me myself, I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna judge you by how you died. I'm gonna judge you by how you lived.
Exactly.
And the way you lived is
Exactly.
we can Google it. That's
Yeah.
all. I'll leave it at that.
Exactly.
We can Google
Yeah.
it.
For the
You know what
record,
I'm
I don't
saying?
think Trump should have been there. Mainly because the way he already talked ill about him and the
It
way
was so
previously that's already done
weird.
before. And
But
then,
yeah, but
the way he conducted
Yo, you see
himself
the, you
there.
see the, how he
Yeah.
was
Like,
like,
if you
I'm
give-
not
you
gonna
go-
sing.
yeah.
I'm not gonna recite the thing from the
I'm not
Bible.
gonna put my
And
hand
that's,
over my
that's kind of a
heart.
Trump move for
None
me
of
too,
that
you know?
stuff.
Because you don't know how to recite it. Mr. 2 Corinthians.
Like, oh, I'm gonna.
So Corinthians number 2 says
2 Corinthians should have been a dead giveaway for every Christian on this planet. If you didn't pick up on that, fool me once, fool me twice. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That should already been a dead giveaway.
I was like, man,
Yeah.
you could have went on an app. You could have
Yeah.
used a Bible app.
That's what I'm
and
saying,
and
like-
found something better than this, bro. Like, you,
Yeah.
like, you didn't even try.
Because I
You
wouldn't
didn't
show
even
up.
try.
Because I don't really respect the man, but like
Hey.
I wouldn't
Hey.
show up to his funeral and then
Right.
act like that.
Right. I
Hey,
would,
you
like,
know
you
what
don't
I'm
like him, don't show
Yeah.
up, bro. Nobody made you go.
Yeah.
You don't have to
But someone
go.
asked me what you think
Like-
about this, like I hate the guy.
But the respect factor for this thing has went this way because look at it like this. It's already the picture of that front row has
Yeah.
already become a meme.
It's a
Yeah.
thing now.
So that's
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
people didn't respect this man
Yep.
enough at all. Because if he was somebody like that people cared about, it would have
Yeah.
been
It would've been cool
It would have
stuff.
been a common thing for everybody to be like,
Yeah.
man, I miss that dude. But everybody's like on the other end of it, so they're like, let's meme this thing. Let's make jokes of this thing.
Yeah.
Like my favorite thing that's been highlighted from this thing is how long George Bush W. Jr. reached in his pocket, found his piece of candy
Found the
that he
candy.
had,
Yeah.
waiting for Michelle because he knew he was going to see her that day, was excited about it,
Yeah.
put it in his pocket so when he can see her, pulled
Yeah.
it out, common time, said what's up to like 3 or 4 people,
Yeah.
pushed Barack out the way and was like, here, Michelle.
Didn't even shake Barack's
Yeah.
hand.
And I understand
Didn't
the
even shake his
gesture,
hand.
Yeah.
Like, there's a video
Like, there's
of
a
this.
level
Yeah.
of subtle.
Somebody broke this down
yeah.
at
Like-
his daddy's funeral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm so, like, okay, like mind you, I'm from Texas. I'm a Southerner, okay? And there's a certain line of etiquette that I was raised with. And I've lived in other states, and I've realized not every region gets down the same way. With that said, I don't care where you live. I'm not going up to no couple, a couple that I know, completely disregarding one person in the couple, shaking the other person's hand, giving that person candy, and then go sit back down and act like I didn't see the other person. That's really foul. Now, if you do that to me one time, I'm gonna chalk it up like, oh, maybe he's having a bad day. 2 times, nah, we got an issue.
We got issues, fam.
There ain't gonna be a third time. There won't be a third time. You're not giving my wife candy ever again. Never. It's not happening.
I don't care if it's the CD.
Yeah.
You never give my wife candy.
No. Don't play candy. Don't even
pull up and give my girl some cameo.
If George W. Bush roll in Chicago playing candy right now and pulled up to Michelle's house, Barack will have an issue. I know he would have an issue.
Yeah.
Oh, you would definitely have it.
Yeah, bourbons and lax. She just could pull up like, what's happening?
For clout though, I would look at George W. like, you know what? I give it. You got balls, man. I give it.
That, like, you been in Houston lately? Is that
your
what,
wife don't care? How does his wife not like? She don't
Are you
like.
out here
She think it's
swinging?
cute. I'm like, your wife don't know that she don't think that's weird, bro. That you always giving her
Well,
candy.
they've always had like a thing, and they talked about she talked about a relationship with him in the book.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of that stuff too. Like they kind of have
He be
an awkward
blushing and stuff
relationship.
all the time.
He got a little crush on her.
Yeah,
He got a
like,
crush on her hard.
Okay.
She loves it. She eats that up.
She eating it up.
She's like, not one, but 2 presidents think I'm fine. You better
Two presidents think I'm
recognize. She ever, 2 snaps and a twist.
I got it.
She said, and I'm pretty sure Bill come taste this way
Bill,
too.
Bill. Oh,
if I
yeah.
threw it out there,
Was he-
Yo,
was
Bill.
she sitting next to Bill?
Have
Yeah,
you
yeah.
heard that? You heard the conspiracy theory thing?
Oh man, let's go for it.
There's a dude. I think I might have showed this to you a long time ago. There's this kid, mixed kid, black and white.
Oh, yeah.
He
He got-
looks just like
Oh,
Bill
yeah,
Clinton.
yeah.
He's been saying Bill Clinton is his
daddy.
for years.
Yeah.
For years.
No,
I swear.
this guy
and he looks just
sounds
like Bill.
just like him, too.
He's like, yeah, Bill Clinton
He got
dated
that
my mom.
accent,
Bill Clinton dated
everything.
my mom back in the day.
That's my
Yeah.
man.
I'm telling
Sounds
you.
just
I'm
like him.
telling
If
you.
not, he's
I'm
the best
serious.
looking like.
He
He sounded like
He
guy
looks
I've
like
ever
the
seen.
black Bill Clinton.
How long
Yeah.
ago? How long ago did this come out?
Oh, years ago.
Years ago.
Years ago.
Yeah.
Forever
like,
ago.
Like it was during, like right before Obama got elected. I think I was
can
reading
see it
about it.
happening, yeah.
He's
I mean-
still on the internet. He's still. You
Was
can
there,
sounds
Google
was
it.
there
just
like a
like him.
Simpsons joke about this, about Clinton loving black girls?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Or
Oh,
like
it's
like
in
a living color
Alabama.
chunk or something like that. I feel
and
like this is
where
like
I-
a thing on some before.
Where I live, when I lived in San Antonio, like that was a running, like we all joked about it. We'd be like, yeah, Bill Clinton black. Bill Clinton
black.
like black women. He cool with black people.
Everybody's-
I'm sure Bill
I'm
Clinton
sure-
has slept with black women.
I'm gonna take a shot in the dark that it happened when he played the
I'm sure
saxophone
he
on
did.
our
I'm
Arsenio Hall
sure
show.
he's slept
When he
with
played
some
that
black women.
saxophone on that
Yeah.
sealed the deal. Every black person
Yeah.
was like, yeah, Bill Clinton's.
No, everybody knew.
Everybody knew.
Like he knew who Arsenio was enough to go on that show and knew that he was going to get that black vote from doing that.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So every comedian's first joke is, you know who our first black president was? And they're like, oh, Obama? Oh, no, Bill Clinton. I mean, that's the corniest joke out there, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
Like, the man out here with black kids.
He played well. He played well to African Americans. I think a lot of that. Obviously, like in some retrospect, you can look at that as like, okay, you just nabbed a lot of votes with that.
Yeah, he did. That's
It's
all
like,
it was.
Yeah, and well played.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I love how
it
this is
worked.
getting us to talk about
Black people
all the
still-
president's
black
legacies.
people- Well,
You
it
know what I'm
matters
saying?
because it's a legacy you're talking about. Because I still remember
Yeah.
Bill Clinton, but it's like, yeah, he messed up, but like in the way, like he still did a lot of good for like economy and all this other stuff. Now, granted, some of the stuff the administration set up legally messed up a lot of African Americans.
Prison. A lot of the reason the prison system is the way it is right now is because of a lot of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But you can take this also back to like Bush Senior.
But at least he owned up
days,
to it. At least he owned up to it now, later on in life.
Yeah.
Whereas HW never owned up to anything.
You can't. A lot of people be in jail right now. He did too.
Yeah.
Never.
He got so many people.
So many people would be indicted right now.
out of jail, man.
If he would have ratted, imagine if George Senior would have ratted and just told on everybody.
Yeah.
Like imagine if he left a memoir and was just like, "Yo, this is what happened." This, we went to Colombia, we doing this, we, Bin Laden over here.
We got him good with weed, but then we was like, go ahead and grow this opium too.
Yeah, it's cool.
We'll come back and get this oil from him.
We don't like Russia either, so we're gonna give y'all some guns
to
fight, my enemy and my enemy is your enemy.
I always wondered this while watching Narcos. I'm like, okay, when are you gonna get to that stuff? When you
gonna show this
get
part?
to the American government part of all these stuff, because you're missing a lot here.
Like, y'all missing some
very
stuff.
key. Especially from the government, it's like, well, we'll take this.
Where's Ricky Ross?
We'll take this.
Where's
like,
Freeway Ricky Ross?
Yeah, we'll take this DEA director. No, I don't care about him. That's boring. I want to know about this stuff.
Yeah. How did it get to Compton?
Yeah. Exactly. How
did Eazy-E get an MP5, an English military assault rifle,
right?
In LA, in Los Angeles?
In the 80s.
Tell me, in the 80s.
In the 80s.
Explain, because that didn't come. Because I don't know any dudes. Regular, I don't know no gang members who can just hit up Great Britain and be like, "Hey, Her Majesty's Secret Service, let me get
one of these guns about your fam.
Let me get a couple of assault rifles real
that.
quick, and thank you.
Just for the hood though, because the hood gonna rock with me.
We cool. Don't worry about it. Just for us.
The hood messes with me. I can sell them anything out there in them streets. I'm well connected, player.
Come on, player.
I got them things.
Yeah,
thanks, man.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, you know what? I guess to try to wrap it up in a sense, like, I guess we obviously feel like. Well, here's the thing. I think we both all can kind of somewhat agree that like talking ill of the dead is,
Well, no,
okay. But at the same time,
I talk ill of people the same. I talk the same, ill or better.
Yeah.
I talk the same way about a person whether they're in front of me, dead or alive. That's the way. That's where I stand.
That's kind of how I feel about
That's
it.
where I stand. I don't care if you dead or alive.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give you that same smoke.
Yeah, and I won't force it on anyone doing anything like that.
No,
but
no.
tell you what,
I'm gonna be now.
issue,
Now your relatives.
Yeah.
My relationship with them could be different.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm around your family, and they haven't done me wrong, I won't talk crazy in front of them.
If you're gonna bring it up,
I'm not gonna I'm not gonna rain on their parade because they haven't done me wrong.
Yeah.
No.
But if if I had an ex-girlfriend who did me wrong and she died, I'm not gonna go up call her daddy. Blah blah blah. She was terrible.
No.
Like no. You know what I'm saying?
It's petty.
That's petty.
That's real petty.
But if somebody hit me up like, so how you feel about that? Well, she cheated on me with 3 dudes, and
what happened?
she gave me the clamp. So I don't really mess with her. Whatever.
But it's like
She thought it in heaven. Now,
But at the same time, we all were born in that era. We know the era. We know that directly affected our childhood.
Yeah, we grew up in that.
That's why I started getting an idea of politics
We grew
and
up
how the
through
world
that.
works because I
So,
saw
yeah,
effects.
we had to see the politics. We had to see the
We
riots.
see the fallout.
We had to
saw
see
the
everything
fallout,
else that
all
went
of
along
that.
with all of that stuff. So we were
Especially
raised
when I was
through
living
it.
in California.
Yeah,
man, I
so
watched it all firsthand.
that's the thing. When you get to experience something like that, you do get the opportunity to have an opinion on it. And this is my opinion. This is your opinion. This is your opinion on, his legacy.
All right, y'all. We're gonna move forward. We got a little section of the show where we talk about people and their shortcomings, and it wasn't what we just discussed. We call it "Whose Man's Is This?"
Whose man's is this?
Whose man's is this? Whose man's is this, Chris?
Whose man's is this? Whose man's is this? Whose man's?
You knew the trap beat was
boy-
coming.
You ready for that? All right, your boy Rudy Giuliani.
Oh man, get somebody. Whose man's is this?
Yeah,
Whose man's is this?
but Rudy Giuliani doesn't know how he doesn't know how the internet works. He doesn't know anything about technology. And the best part about this is that Rudy Giuliani runs a cyber security firm.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's supposed to do this. So when going on Twitter to talk about the G20 summit and defend Trump on some nonsense, I didn't even make that. The tweet itself could be a story. But at the end of it, he forgot to put a space after the period. And after that, it was followed by IN as an N. And so that created a domain name for in India. It's like a domain for India. And so
Made a link.
Yeah, it's a link. So it set up a hyperlink. He doesn't know what that is. And so what happened was
For clarity, hold on.
company.
For clarity,
yeah.
A man who's running a cybersecurity firm doesn't know what a hyperlink is.
Who is
Continue.
This man is also the president's lawyer.
Who's also our current president, Donald Trump's lawyer.
Yeah.
Continue.
All right. So then what happens is that like, after this, like somebody bought the domain, bought the
Of course.
site, and decided to make it an anti-Trump.
GoDaddy.com.
Yeah, exactly. For $5.
For $5.
And
Pay
he
$5
bought
for
it
this
for
month real quick,
$5,
player.
and it did all this. And so now he's pissed. He's like, somebody hacked into my text and like took it over. They're like, I got hacked, and they're trying to take over. It's a security
No.
issue. This and that. It's like, no, this is the normal stuff. You don't even know how this works.
You just don't know how it works, bro.
Yeah. Just stupid.
You just trash
Yeah.
at the internet.
That's my man.
Yeah, whose man's is this? Whose man's is this? Whose man's is this? Somebody come get this guy.
Yeah, so like I don't know, man. Like, how do you? What do we do about him?
We
man?
hit him with the bitter beer face. Like,
Right.
ew.
Does he have kids? He has kids, right?
I
I don't know about
See,
it.
I feel like his
He
kids
does.
know he's not that great. That's why you never hear about him. They lay low.
Yeah.
Like because most people, you know, if our dads were the president's lawyer
Yeah.
or like I would be playing that up when I get a job. Like, yeah, that's my dad, or you know, oh, I got pulled over by a cop. That's my dad.
Yeah.
You never hear them saying
Nah,
his
they won't
name.
claim
You
him.
never.
Well,
I
that's why-
never hear anybody claiming
Well,
him.
that's like we talked earlier. That's why they took him off the Trump.
Yeah, he's nowhere.
Because
You don't see him
he
nowhere
kept,
now.
he kept getting Trump in more trouble with his mouth.
Yeah.
They're like, yo, man, you need to stop.
Like, you're not a good lawyer either, bro.
Yeah, like, hey, what
are
happened
you
to our
doing?
code? Like, you a lawyer. You're not supposed to say
Yeah, you talking crazy.
Anything.
Yeah.
You talking crazy.
you liable, bruh.
You about to get me locked up in the extra jail.
You know what I'm saying? Whose man's is this? Dry snitching.
Yeah,
Over here,
so-
dry
so,
snitching.
Oh yeah, so here you want to check something out. Here's the best part about this. So like I think let's see if I can find this. I'm losing my place. I'm tired, y'all. So here's a commercial with Rudy Giuliani actually where he's talking about cybersecurity. I just want to point out how funny it is after what just happened.
With 16 years in cybersecurity, I can tell you that criminals are scouring the dark web, trying to steal your identity and your personal information.
Really?
That's why Experian monitors the dark web globally and alerts you to suspicious activity, so you can act before a criminal can. Go to Experian.com/protect now to see if your personal information is on the dark web with a free one-time dark web scan.
Nah, I'm
Don't
good.
let them
Yeah,
steal
right.
your identity in the dark web.
Nah,
Protect
no
yourself
thanks.
with a company you can trust.
Now,
Yeah.
two things.
No.
One,
Yeah.
16 years for real?
16
You
years.
have no experience in your line. You don't know.
Whoa.
You don't even know what any of this stuff means.
Also, is this the company-
This Experian is a company. What's you charge? On top of that, if this is something you trust, well, they didn't do too good of a job. I'm sure
No.
you sent that tweet from your phone, and this is supposed to protect you from your phone. So obviously, the thing you're endorsing doesn't work if you use it.
Yeah.
Because obviously, if you got hacked, which you didn't.
Trash.
Oh no, yeah, exactly. It's all bad. There's no way to.
Shred-ash.
Yeah.
Shred-ash.
I kind of
Garbage.
like.
Basura.
I kind of like how dumb
I was
he
going
is.
there next. That was my
Basura.
next one.
All right, we're gonna move forward with another one here. This is a long time coming. I'm surprised this is the first time. Lou Dobbs.
Lou
You know
Dobbs.
Lou Dobbs?
Lou
Lou Dobbs calls climate change a United Nations plot to take over the world.
Whose man's is it?
That's so dumb.
Is he even on
Somebody
TV
come get your
anymore?
man.
Yeah, he is. He's got his
He's
own.
still on TV?
He's got his own show.
Come get your
Yeah, I
man.
know it's dangerous, huh?
Lou Dobbs.
He's like, it's like, let's just take Pat Robinson and like put him on a bigger stage. That's
Nah.
pretty much. If you take the Christian out of Pat Robinson and put him on a bigger stage, that's pretty much what Lou Dobbs is. This fool is
You
insane.
need to come get him.
Now talk about old man yells at cloud.
Yeah.
He's the one worse. So I'm gonna play you a clip. And Cleveland, you can hear the guest he has on is this dude Charles Hurt, and he's the one who starts it off. And listen to these fools talk about global warming and like they conspiracy on this. It's insane.
Yeah, you know, this is the thing I don't get. If the world is about to careen over into the abyss and we're all about to die because of global warming, and the only answer is a carbon tax, is a tax on gasoline or diesel or anything like this, if that's the only way we salvage the earth, and that's what these people believe, how dare they throw away our future by withdrawing the idea? But this is the entire problem that all of these people have. They all have been peddling this fear-mongering, the end of the world nonsense. They've been doing it for decades now. Al Gore has built a career doing it, scaring the daylights out of people with all of this crazy, unfounded, jimmied up scientific, non-scientific
Jimmied
rhetoric.
up?
and nothing ever does happen. So it's sort of a little
Nothing
surprised
happens.
that people get kind of frustrated about it.
Well, that and the fact that actually the United Nations really wants to go a little bit beyond being a if you will, a debate club. They'd like to take over the world, and they see the perfect opportunity in global warming. If they really believe that they need to reform, to transform our global geopolitical systems, our national governments, and to come up with something, let's say, run by the United Nations. What an idea! All because of global warming. And despite the fact that there's great debate over whether there is that quote-unquote warming.
Wow.
That's not how it works, you dummy.
Wow.
You old dummy.
Okay, so
Yeah.
when dude so before he said the word scientific, I was caught on something else. But then when he got to that part where he's like scientific blah blah blah, does he not know what the definition of science is?
It's fact.
It's based on fact.
fact.
Does he know? Like, okay, I'm a product of the 80s, right? And also a product of the public school system. I learned about the scientific method.
Yeah.
You have to try something. It's an experiment.
Yeah.
You do it 3 times.
Yeah.
If you get the same result 3 times, it's founded.
Yeah.
It's science.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
fact.
Yeah.
It ain't Santa Claus. It ain't Easter Bunny. It's not magic, bro. This ain't David Blaine.
Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah.
This is real.
Well,
This is really
he goes
happening.
scientific. He goes non-scientific.
A bunch of scientific.
But it's a bunch of scientists making scientific facts.
I'm
you're
like,
not a scientist, so what
bruh,
you're
you're
using is
not a-
non-scientific.
This is when keeping
It
it
is
real goes
insane
right.
how they
Yeah.
get-
This is not when keeping it real goes goes wrong.
Goes right.
It's what goes right.
Yeah. Well, then there's also the portions of it that's weird to me, especially at the end, especially with the Lou Dobbs statement when he's like, well, they just want to make this geopolitical thing with the world. And like, long story short, like, there's so many conservatives that are so afraid of being inclusive in the world to make things work. They're like, well, why do they want to bring us in? They just want to take our power. No. We don't want the world to go to hell.
No.
And then we have to come. But the thing is, though, we'll still be the leader in a lot of those. In a lot
Yeah,
of those field
man. We just
technology.
want to have something to
That
be
was
the
actually-
leader in.
That was actually the whole point of
You can't
doing all
eat
that
money,
stuff.
man.
The G20 summit was like, we were supposed to lead the charge.
Yeah.
Be ahead of the curve. And we probably would have done good for us to create new industry, especially if we started building solar panels all over the place.
Yeah.
It might be a good look to build some new jobs. Whatever. I'll drop that for now. But still, like, it's just so afraid how they are of the change or connecting with the world. They so want to keep, they want to keep America, America, but they don't want to keep America, America. They want to keep America, old white America.
They want. You know what he said? He said
we don't want to
Jimmy.
lose that old white
He
American
said
power.
jimmied up information. I'm
Yeah.
like, hold up.
Yeah.
Ain't that one of the terms y'all used to call black people?
Jimmied
Jimmies.
up.
Like,
Yeah.
it's like, come on,
Yeah.
man. You gonna say that on national
Yeah.
television when you about to ask this other guy a question about something that's false? Everything he's about to say is false to you, false to anybody
Jim
listening.
Crow slang, man.
Non-scientists giving us scientific facts not based in science.
Get out of here.
From the top scientists.
I want to know what kind of science he does. This is my question.
Yeah.
So if you don't think that's real, then what is real? Like what could a scientist say to you that you would believe?
Yeah.
You mean to
There's no
tell
way they
me
don't care.
that
Like,
y'all not
point,
messing up
obviously
these
facts don't matter at
waters?
that point.
Like you go to a
Yeah.
doctor, you take
Yeah.
medicine, right?
Yeah.
That's based on science.
Yeah.
Oh, man's is this?
Not
Actually,
mine.
it's different with this one.
Hey, yo, who man's is this?
Oh, we got another one?
Yeah, so let's just top it off real quick, but then we'll move on. Preschoolers have been served Pine Sol and a juice mix-up. This lady in a children in Hawaii preschool was served Pine Sol by mistake from an attendant at school because she thought it was apple juice.
Hold on.
How does she not smell
Hey,
it?
y'all, I'll just say, I just want to say, because so we can get through it. Just check. Just check. Smell
How
it. Just check.
you serving children something without you trying
look
it
at
first?
the label. I just look at the label.
How do you not
Well,
smell
You
it?
can smell it.
Hey,
Pine
look,
Sol.
look,
from a mile
the smell
away.
of Pine
It's
Sol
obvious.
is
It's very obvious.
They
It
sell
smells
that.
like my childhood.
they sell this just the
It smells
scent.
like chores.
That's how
Exactly, yeah.
famous it
Smells
is.
like work.
Yeah. Everybody knows what it smells like.
Yeah.
Like it's famous. People are like, oh, let me get that Pine Sol air freshener.
Yeah.
I love the way that Pine
Yeah.
Sol smell. Smell it clean.
Smelling the sleep. I don't want to clean the bathroom.
Right. I'm like, giving me flashbacks.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't want to mop that kitchen
I don't want to
floor.
mop the floor.
You just make greens and everything. I don't want to clean that.
Pine Sol is
That's some grandma stuff. That's
like-
what your grandma makes you clean with.
my whole
Get
8
some of
years.
that Pine Sol on there.
When I was 8
Get
years, the
scrubbing.
only thing I can remember smelling was Pine Sol and mopping glove.
Yeah. Yep.
That mopping
What
glove,
was the
baby.
other one?
I don't know
now?
how our skin didn't burn
What
off.
was the
I know.
spin
So,
salt?
All the chores, crazy ass shit
I
we
might
do.
have some. I just forgot it.
But that was like everybody had the same stuff in their house.
Yeah. Pine
Ammonia.
Sol, the powder. What was the powder?
Comet,
Comet.
Yeah.
Ajax.
Actually, yeah, no, it's Ajax. Yeah.
Comet or
It could be
Ajax.
either
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Man, old school cleaner.
It's all meth. It's all meth.
Yeah.
Anyways, double check everybody.
I just call it
all
meth.
the ingredients to meth.
It's all meth. That's all it is.
Every single ingredient is meth from my childhood.
I use meth to clean my bathroom. Basically.
A little bit of meth. A little bit of meth. Goes a long way.
It works.
All right, moving forward, y'all. We got a little section of the show where we talk about racist stuff, which we simply call That Is Racist.
That is racist. Hating on the baller, but they can't stop my pain. Stop all this hating. I can't take it no more.
Can't take it.
Just trying to get mine. You better get yours. So what you hating for?
All right. Recording shows a high school student singing a song about KKK to tune Jingle Bells. It's Dover High School in New Hampshire, which is a very white place. As a matter of fact,
no kidding.
There's the black population in Dover is 1.7%. And in high school, they decided in an 11th grade class, they decided to do a project where it's so stupid. Well, they wanted them to write a Christmas song or do Christmas-based things based off of history, and based off of historic events. And I think it was a bad assignment because I think they were talking about slavery and things at the time. Kind of seemed like bad timing. Yeah. And you want to hear it? Here we go.
Wow. Where's KKK on
They
song?
recorded it. Yeah.
Wow. Blood beneath our feet, laughing till they're dead. Ha ha ha. Best when that was formed was 1865. Got shut down within 10 years, but we'll come back alive. Hey, KKK, KKK, let's kill all the blacks. Burn across on their front yard and hope they don't come back. Oh, KKK, KKK, no longer politics. Keeping civil rights and happy is our true new world gift. White supremacy, only got unmasked by John F. Kennedy.
Wow.
It's far too fun, so come along and watch those black folk run. Let's kill politics. Keeping civil rights intact is our new world gift. Now that we have left the country with these scars, there's no way they can go to school without hearing of us. Grand wizards left behind, one great big legacy. We're here to stay, big shoes to fill in this society. Oh, KKK, let's kill all the blacks. Burn across and have one yard and hope that.
The look on your face is priceless.
Yo,
I never heard it. I never heard it because I saw the clip and I was like, I don't even want to hear this.
I had to nab it.
But you were like, all right, let's get this. But like the fact that like. I just read the subtitles and I was just like, wow. But no, the fact that the teacher didn't step in and stop it, that the students, the rest of the students were just laughing.
People are laughing. Teacher didn't stop it.
I don't want to hear anything. It's like, you're laughing. You're already catering to your audience. A bunch of racists in Dover.
The recording was just like, somebody was finally tired of it and was like, I'm gonna record this what's going on around me because I don't believe in this stuff that's going around. Thank you for the recording.
Yo, shout out to whoever recorded that.
But that is just
exactly.
atrocious.
One of the students said, "I feel uncomfortable." Just like one student, she had to kind of hold it down a little bit.
Oh, there's that you remember that class photo that just came out not that long ago? All they doing the Hell Hitler, and then somebody sent me. There's the guy in the upper right corner. Yeah, he's not doing it.
Yeah.
He's like, nah,
I'm not.
He's like, nah, I ain't with this.
I'm good. It was an interview that kid. He's like, well, I kind of knew. He's like, well, I kind of knew how some of my classmates can be.
Yeah.
So you already knew. He knew. He knew. He's like, okay, I already know I'm going to go to a bunch of racist kids.
He's like,
and they already heard him talking about it. He's like, I'm not getting in that.
So we're basically telling you that the breeding of racists is still continuing to this day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why this segment, That's Racist, is important because it's like people still raising their kids to be racist, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
That's so messed up, man.
It's terrible.
Yeah, New Hampshire, I ain't going there.
Nah.
All right. I will go here, though, with Laura Ingraham. I hate Laura Ingraham, and I will go there every time. She's comparing Confederate statues to priceless antiquities and protesters to ISIS. Now, I'm going to play some more clip. I probably won't play this whole thing because we're a little short on time. But you'll hear enough to hear Laura Ingraham's mess that always spews out of her mouth.
There's a movement, particularly among the young, to hate the past and eradicate anything they find objectionable or troubling. And look, every country, all history, has its bad sides, it has its good sides. Good stuff, bad stuff. But this recalls the kind of destructive mindset of let's say ISIS. Think about ISIS, what they did. They pillaged and they wiped away irreplaceable, historical, and religious monuments. From Palmyra, remember in Syria, simply because they could. It was offensive to them.
This is my 2-year-old son
what
reaching
one
up trying to get shit off the counter.
The way this was all treated after the Civil War, whether they should build these monuments or not.
Wow.
This happened. Okay? The Confederacy happened. And we owe it to the future to leave history as it existed undisturbed. Continue to debate it.
Undisturbed?
Have conversations about it.
Yeah, pause it for a second.
Okay.
Yeah, right? So,
No.
That's not right. So,
First off, that's
if we want
racist.
to stop racism, we have to preserve it by building statues of racist idiots.
Hey, to preserve racism, we need to be racist. Okay?
We need to be more racist to show that racism existed before, and then that'll prove to the future to help solve these problems.
So,
see, all you black people who are hurt by this,
so y'all remember
what's causing the problem, not my white rich ass.
That's just that person
complaining about nothing.
That's that old video of that person with that belt and they smacking against their hand.
Yeah.
Like remember that last time we did this to you?
Yeah. Remember?
Don't make me. Yeah. And so that's what they want.
Never forget.
That's the flick of the belt. That's like the crack of
look,
the whip.
This. I'll be honest. I would be okay if there's one condition where I would be okay with like Confederate flags and all that stuff being up and Robert E. Lee stuff being up. I'd be okay with it if the government had museums just like in Germany, where it shows the brutal, raw atrocities of slavery. Yeah. Show a black person eating with cows in filth. Yeah, exactly. Show you raping a man in front of his family. Show you impregnating a black woman. Show Thomas Jefferson. Bring out Jefferson's kids. Give them reparations. Put them in office. Let them be in charge of race relations or something. Like and put it all out there. And be aware. Be equal.
Be aware of the humanity in it when you're texting. I don't want to look at a plaque and say, "Well, this general once left this great army."
I'm like, yo, look,
this jerk of a man did all this. He's a horrible human being. Never be like him. Teach your children to stay away from crap like this. Don't do it ever again.
He killed off millions of Indians.
Facts. With the facts. Yeah, I want to know.
I'm like, yo, if you want to parade it around, then be about it. Put it out there. Let me teach you some history then, since it's about your culture. It's our I love that argument. People, it's my culture. Oh, for real? I bet I know more about your culture than you do.
Yeah, exactly.
I can tell you some stories. I'll show you some stuff.
Well, it's funny when certain people argue about the changing culture. Well, they're changing will be just as culture. It's like, you're just holding on to racist stuff. You're not giving me anything descriptive. They're not taking away hot dogs and hamburgers, to tell you that.
No.
The way you're talking about is different. We ain't taking that because I ain't in it.
Like,
I know what you're saying when you're saying what you're saying.
Bro, in Germany, you can't even.
Be real with us,
bro, you can't even have a swastika like on your clothing. Like there's like neo-Nazi groups, like these teenage groups and stuff. I was learning about when I was in the army and how they wear certain clothing brands because it's illegal for them to go in public wearing. You can't walk out there with an Iron Cross on and a swastika or a Luftwaffe shirt on. Like people will jump you in public. Like they can call the cops on you. Like, yo, this dude's wearing this and I'm threatened. You go to jail for that. Like,
it's crazy that like a lot of these kids' grandfathers and great grandfathers fought and was all ready to punch a Nazi in the face. Was all everybody
proud
said that in America.
Too.
Everybody
I'll
punch a Nazi in the face, and their grandson or their son. End up being Nazis. It's like, wow.
And now you got dudes like the McGinnis guy coming on. He's like, this whole punch a Nazi in the face thing's a little racist, don't you think?
What? No, punching hate groups in the face is supposed to happen.
Player.
That's a sport, man.
Good luck with that one, dog.
In 1942, that was the whole. I heard that was trending on Twitter back in the 40s.
Like
and stuff.
Instagram page of it if it goes down.
Hashtag punch a Nazi.
Right. You want to talk about the target, Teresa? Or should we move on?
Let's move on.
Yeah. I figure more is going to happen with her anyways. Yeah. Let's get a little more upbeat. Let's talk about pop culture.
Hey.
Pop life. I gotta face them fans. Everybody can be on top. Not everyone can be on top.
No.
And to help us prove that point, the 76 Golden Globe nominees that have been announced is being heavily hated upon. I don't think it's going to happen because of it. At the top of this list, which is getting a lot of attention, is Black Panther.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to see it happen. Here's the thing. I think Black Panther's a good movie. I don't think it's a good comic book movie. But I think it's a good movie. And I think that's why a lot of people like it. It's like, it's not a good movie. It's like, yeah, it is a good movie. It's not a good comic movie. And it's not like insanely action. It's not like, it doesn't have so much of a lot of things. But I think that's what's good about it. Because it's one of the few that's kind of apply a little bit of humanity to the situation.
Got a lot of humanity.
All the politics of what's happening around within the realm and the universe they're dealing with. And I thought that's what made it interesting. It really dove in. It had a good script.
What's weird?
It guided it with the message and everything.
It was beautifully shot. It did the best numbers of any opening of any movie ever. You can't deny the artistry that went along with that, but also the message that it told. So of course it deserves these nominations.
So is this the trick to like putting white people on? Should we just do superhero movies with little messages,
with real stories in them?
Maybe that's the trick.
I would like to point out the irony of like the segue of like most black art has been taken and abused and turned into and then it's like, well, comic book movies will never go. It's like, well, for it to open the door for comic movies to be considered for awards, it took a black movie.
R.I.P. Stan.
But guess who's gonna get the credit? Guess who's probably gonna get the credit for who probably win it? Probably white movie. A white comic movie. I don't really even care about all that. I think the Oscars, it's all trash. All this stuff's all trash.
It's been trash for a while.
It's already up to a committee that is made. There's been a lot of other people, a lot of other movies who have won this award. And they were super trash.
Super trash.
And I don't really complain. That's like comparison, like Black Panther in comparison to those other movies is great.
But the saddest thing about it is I think it's going to get diminished because of Stan Lee's death.
Yeah.
They're going to throw it to him. And they're going to give him all the stuff, and they'll be like, this one's for Stan Lee, and blah, 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 blah. And they're going to downplay the fact that Ryan Coogler did an amazing job with his third film. And that it had a great message in it.
Yeah. What do you think about Black Klansman being considered best picture?
I think Black Klansman is epic because Spike Lee had some follies.
Yeah.
He had some not so
comeback for him.
some nice great, but this movie was great, start to finish.
I think Bix-based movies, films that he does that are based on like true to life stories or true stories are his best movies.
Yeah, Malcolm X deserved deserved so many awards. It was amazing. It covered his whole life.
Yeah. To be real about it, man, Spike Lee started messing up when he started forming that awkward grudge against Tarantino.
That was kind of weird.
Spike Lee, you are an amazing director. You're not cool.
Yeah.
You're never going to be as cool as Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
And I know that sucks because you're like, I'm black, I should be able to make a black style film. That's cool. But the thing is, you're just not as cool. It's in that way. So you can't pull it off.
Because Jackie Brown is amazing.
Do it well.
Yeah.
But it's the thing, like Spike Lee can't make Jackie Brown.
That's what I'm saying.
That's impossible.
But Spike Lee can't make Jackie Brown.
But he's good at making what he makes. So
what he makes is great.
Spike Lee can make a movie about someone in the black exploitation era being an actress, but he can't make a Jackie Brown.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was like, you stop trying to get on Tarantino's thing, man. He don't care about
Let
you.
Tarantino do Tarantino. That's his lane.
You did a great Malcolm X. You did a great Klansman. Just let that be that.
That's your lane. And Inside Man. Inside Man
was great. I mean, he's done some. He does some dope.
Mo Better Blues.
Mo Better Blues is great. I love the Jungle Fever was great.
Jungle Fever was good.
Like I like a lot of his movies, but I'm just saying, just like don't
do the right thing.
You shouldn't hate on another person doing what you do great.
Yeah.
You must applaud your fellow.
I think he's just mad. He's just mad because Wu-Tang rock with Tarantino.
Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff too.
I think that's a little bit.
It's the New York in him.
Yeah, it's the New York. It's the New York.
Okay,
that's what I think.
I understand that.
Is also up, and I think that's also well deserved.
I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, Rami Malek, he's dope. I got in him watching because I watch Mr. Robot.
I haven't seen that yet either.
Oh, bro, I'll give you my PlayStation login just so you can download the episodes. It's that good. It's that good.
You heard it here first.
Y'all heard it. Facts. It's that good.
Yo, man, that's
Mr.
nice.
Robot's bomb.
That's nice.
It's good.
Yeah, let me check that out. All right, now to round things off, end it off. What am I saying? I don't even know. I'm tired, y'all.
It's time to go.
Die Hard. It's been considered.
Okay.
New poll has been.
I shared this on Facebook too.
That kind of shows it, makes it official that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
They're lying.
That it's not a Christmas movie.
All right, look. There's Christmas jokes, especially when he had to do come up the elevator. And you have a sweatshirt that says,
the
I have a machine gun.
The movie takes place during Christmas, right?
It takes place during Christmas. There's a lot of Christmas jokes, references. There's a couple Merry Christmas things. There's a lot of Christmas in that movie to make it officially.
Yeah, it takes place during Christmas.
Yeah,
And the film is
Christmas time,
it's during Christmas.
Yeah.
It was at a Christmas party. It was at a Christmas work party.
Yes.
That's the reason why it's a Christmas movie.
What year? What was the release date of that movie?
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Because see, here's the thing. Hollywood,
88.
Hollywood does everything on purpose. I bet you that movie. I bet you it probably came out right before Christmas.
Yeah.
Hollywood does everything on purpose. Everything's planned. Everything's years in the making. I'm sure they were like, "Yo, this is this is gonna hype it up." Like, come on. Even if it's a Christmas movie.
Even if it didn't come out,
just because it's an action Christmas movie, don't mean it's not a Christmas movie.
It's a Christmas movie. I hate that.
You be Kanye, mofo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I just don't know why they hating on it. Like, just accept it as is. I mean, is Bad Santa a Christmas movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's still, I don't know.
Yes.
See, okay.
Because it's an action movie. Because now by definition, you're saying every sappy movie
I Googled it.
has to
be a Christmas movie.
I mean, to this argument, you can say Home Alone isn't a Christmas movie.
Hey,
right?
I Googled it.
It took place, it's like Die Hard's in the building.
It released.
Home Alone's in the house, same thing.
It released in July, but people say Christmas in July. And I bet they played it up. I guarantee they played it up.
I'm sure it was on video. By the time it got Christmas, it was on VHS at Blockbuster Video.
They were like, for Christmas, get Die Hard, blah, 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 in that dude's voice. You know what I'm saying? Like, Christmas in July.
Man, I missed that terrible popcorn.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that nasty microwave popcorn.
John Hughes need that money.
Right?
Yeah,
dude, that's a Christmas movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a Christmas movie. You gotta have all kinds of Christmas movies.
Holly Gennaro was at a Christmas party. Her man from New York showed up for the kids with Christmas presents.
Come out to the coast, have a party.
If you laugh. He ran into some gangsters and he took them down.
Had to handle it.
And very Christmas stuff with Christmassy things.
It's
You
Christmas.
got the Christmas tape. We got the gun strapped on the back.
Yeah.
Teddy bear, the dude in the basement. I forget what that actor's name is. We had that teddy bear in the logo.
Yo, and actually, now that I think about it, it's really easy to frame some super like crazy violence under the guise of Christmas. That actually, I think that kind of helped the movie a little bit. Because imagine if you removed like great example.
Yeah.
If you removed all of the Christmas and comedy element out of Home Alone, Home Alone is a scary ass movie. Home Alone, high key, got some weird. Like you couldn't make a Home Alone right now. Two dudes, two grown men breaking in on a kid's house while he's home alone. That sounds like an episode of 60 Minutes.
Yeah, the
that
only
doesn't sound like a
difference
comedy
between Home
movie.
Alone and Die Hard is that like they both took. I mean, the violence was represented more real in Die Hard.
Exactly.
And I mean, they didn't have as many jokes. But honestly, I think the jokes in Die Hard are funnier than the ones in Home Alone. It was just a physical comedy.
Yeah.
Made funny.
It's like if you remove the Christmas out of it,
trapped in this place
it's a very disturbing film. If you remove the
get
Christmas out of it, it's a very different kind of film.
The guy in the limo, by the way, is Argyle.
Okay.
Argyle was down there waiting on his Vegas situation because he was like, I'm going to stay in L.A. for Christmas or I might go to Vegas.
He's
trying to turn up.
Yeah, he had the limo ready to go. He's like, I'm doing this.
It's a Christmas party, guys.
And he had to still say the day at the end. He hit the van. He's like, he stopped him. Escaping. Good man.
I'm like, I got you.
Yeah,
Argyle.
He stopped Conrad McMasters from escaping, if you know who that is.
Conrad
And the
McMasters.
quarterback is toast.
And the quarterback is
All right.
80s babies.
Yo, man. This has been real. I'm glad you came.
Yo, thank you for having
me.
me.
Thanks for showing
I appreciate it.
You gonna come back again?
Oh, yes, for sure. Anytime. Can I shout out? I'll be at Maxwell tonight DJing. Find me on Twitter at Dublife with 2 B's or Instagram Chris DUBBLIFE. And on SoundCloud.
Yeah. It's that Dub Life.
Dub Life.
And thank you for tuning in, everybody.
Thank you,
we love you. We appreciate you.
Shout out to YouTube. Thank you for checking us out. So I'm glad we got this going. We're gonna add some more segments, add some more video stuff too, so that we're gonna up our production so they look a little better.
Let me know if my beard looking right.
You don't have to look at just our pretty faces. You gotta look at other stuff too. That's more interesting.
Send nudes.
Yeah. And I do. No, don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't
Check us out on Instagram at Product of the 80s Radio or on Facebook at Product of the 80s. Like and subscribe to the channel if you're watching on YouTube. Leave a comment if you want to talk to us about anything.
Want to talk some trash?
Suggestions? Yeah, whatever. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Ask
to go
questions.
Now. I know how this goes. I know how comment sections goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you y'all for checking us out, and we love doing this. And we'll see you again next week.
Peace.
Yo, y'all should do an urban legend conspiracy. Every episode. I was gonna say y'all probably do it every episode. But like, because we were talking about Bill Clinton. We got politics is the political side. For urban legends, hood urban legends, conspiracy theories. It's like, okay, Bill Clinton got a son. What was the other one? Remember the one that was about? What was the one? Sitting there. What was the one that was saying if you drink? Was it apples? Apples? If you eat the red skin on the apple. Remember that?
No, that was always something in Philadelphia.
No,